All right, welcome. Today, we're going to be your guides on an expedition into, well, one of the most misunderstood parts of the internet, the Darknet. We're here to cut through all the noise and give you a real map for how to navigate it safely and, this is key, legally. So, you ready? Our expedition starts right now. This quote really nails it, doesn't it? When you hear dark web, your mind probably jumps straight to some kind of digital back alley full of shadowy figures. It's definitely got a reputation that precedes it. And that's the big question, right? Is that reputation the whole picture, or is there more to it? As we're about to find out, the reality is a whole lot more nuanced and honestly, way more interesting. Okay, so first things first on our journey, we've got to get our bearings. Let's start by pushing past all those myths and really understand what the Darknet actually is. You've probably seen the iceberg analogy before, and for good reason. The internet we all use every single day, Google, social media, news sites, that's just the tiny tip, what we call the surface web. It's all indexed, super easy to search. But the dark web, that's the huge hidden part underneath the water, intentionally kept off of search engines. You can't just stumble upon it. You need special software just to find the door. So here's the main takeaway. The Darknet isn't some kind of separate, evil internet. Nope. It's just a small corner of the web that's deliberately kept private. And that privacy, that anonymity, is what opens it up to a whole range of uses. And a lot of them are totally legitimate. And this is where we see the other side of the coin. The same anonymity that criminals might use is also a lifeline for journalists in countries with oppressive regimes, for activists, and for whistleblowers who need to share crucial information without being discovered. It's a vital space for secure communication when you can't risk being overheard. Okay, so we've mapped out the territory. Now it's time to gear up. Any good explorer knows you don't go into a new place unprepared. And for the Darknet, that means putting together your digital safety kit. These three right here, they're your essentials. You can think of them as your specialized vehicle, your invisibility cloak, and your shield. Let's break down what each one actually does for you. First on the list is the Tor browser. This is your all-terrain vehicle, the main tool you'll need to get to Darknet sites, which you can usually spot because they end in .onion. It's built from the ground up to navigate this hidden web while keeping your identity safe. So how does it pull off this magic trick? Well, Tor wraps your internet connection in layers of encryption, kind of like an onion, hence the name. Then it bounces your signal through a bunch of random servers all over the world. At each stop, one layer of encryption is peeled off. This makes it incredibly difficult for anyone to trace the connection back to you. Now, here's the most important tip. Only, and I mean only, download Tor from the official Tor project website. If you get it from anywhere else, you're just asking for trouble. All right, next up, we've got the VPN, or Virtual Private Network. So if Tor is your vehicle, the VPN is the invisibility cloak you put on before you even step outside. The reason this is so important is that a VPN hides what you're doing from your own internet service provider. The company you pay for your internet. Without it, they can see that you're connecting to Tor, even if they can't see what you're doing on it. But using a VPN first, you're private from the very beginning. It's a crucial first step. And last but not least, your digital shield, a solid security software suite. This is your first line of defense against any malware, phishing scams, or other nasty things you could run into. Look, this is just basic internet safety, but it's even more critical here. An out-of-date security program is like a shield with a bunch of holes in it. You gotta keep your software updated to protect yourself from the latest threats. It's what ensures your exploration doesn't end with a virus-infected computer. All right, our toolkit is all packed and ready. Now we need the map. Let's walk through a clear 5-step guide to make sure our journey is both safe and completely legal. The whole process really comes down to being prepared and being careful. So you start by setting up your tools, Tor and a VPN. Then you do your research. You figure out which legitimate sites you might want to visit before you even start browsing. Once you're on there, you have to practice smart habits, like never, ever downloading strange files or giving out personal info. And finally, you stay up to date because the world of cybersecurity is always changing. And that brings us to the most important part of our entire guide, the rules of the road. Knowing the difference between what's legal and what's not is absolutely non-negotiable. Let's be crystal clear about this, because it's the #1 misconception. Simply using Tor and visiting a darknet website is not illegal in most parts of the world. The legality all comes down to what you do once you're there. Your actions are what matter. This really lays out that sharp divide. On one side, you've got these powerful, perfectly legal uses, things like doing academic research or using secure forums. On the other side, well, that's where you find the stuff that gives the darknet its infamous reputation. The choice of which side you're on is entirely up to you, and believe me, the legal line between them is not blurry at all. And really, that's the core message we want you to take away from all this. The darknet itself isn't inherently good or evil. It's a tool, and like any powerful tool, its character is defined by the person who's using it. So, if you ever decide to explore it for yourself, just remember to keep these 3 keys with you at all times: knowledge, caution, and a deep respect for the law. That's really the heart of responsible exploration. So we've given you the map, we've given you the toolkit, and we've shown you how to navigate this hidden part of the internet safely. Where your curiosity leads you from here, well, that's your journey to take. Just be sure to use what you've learned to explore responsibly. Thanks for joining us on this expedition.